A student accused in the latest deadly attack on Jewish Americans allegedly was inspired by other attacks on Jews and Muslims. The gunman killed one person and wounded 3 others inside a Southern California synagogue on Saturday night. Witnesses say the woman who died, 60-year-old Lori Gilbert Kay, stood between the shooter and a rabbi who had already been wounded.
19-year-old John Earnest is charged with murder and attempted murder, and a hate crime investigation is underway. The attack happened 6 months to the day after 11 people were murdered at a Pittsburgh synagogue. David Begnaud is at the scene in Poway, northeast of San Diego. David, good morning.
John, good morning. Police believe the gunman acted alone. He had no criminal history prior to this, and he may, in fact, be charged with a hate crime. You're about to hear from the rabbi who was shot, as well as the U.S. Army veteran who chased the gunman out of the synagogue. But we're going to start right now with what happened last night. This is what it looked like when the city of Poway came together Sunday night to start the process of healing.
Being here to support us, the Jewish community, because we are all children of God.
The Chabad of Poway congregation was marking the final day of Passover when police say 19-year-old John Earnest burst into the synagogue and opened fire with an assault-style rifle. About 100 people were inside.
And as I turned around, I saw the face of this murderer, of this terrorist.
The gunman took aim at Rabbi Yisroel Goldstein, who was preparing to lead the service. He suffered serious injuries to his hands, losing one index finger.
Could have gone right through my chest. Could have gone right through my heart. Both fingers.
The gunman fired several rounds before the gun jammed.
I don't think I'm a brave person.
Oscar Stewart says he saw Earnest open fire from the back of the room, and he ran toward him, shouting at him. That's when Earnest turned around and ran.
They say I saved lives. I don't know if I saved any lives. I just did what I did.
An off-duty Border Patrol agent who had recently discovered his Jewish roots was also at the synagogue. He fired at the shooter, hitting the gunman's vehicle as the suspect drove away. Authorities say Earnest ended up calling 911 himself and telling them where he was, about a mile from the synagogue.
As our officer was exiting the freeway, he clearly saw the suspect in his vehicle. Suspect pulled over, jumped out of his car with his hands up.
The FBI has joined the investigation. Police searched the home Earnest shares with his parents. They're also reviewing an anti-Semitic manifesto that appears to be written by the teen, in which he said he was inspired by last month's mass shooting at a New Zealand mosque.
I had to look the murderer in the face for something for me to impart to the rest of the world.
What is that?
To change. It's time for a change. It's not just anti-Semitism. It's all type of bigotry. We have lost our soul.
The rabbi told us he was so afraid of violence happening here at his synagogue, he had asked that Border Patrol agent to start carrying a weapon every time he came to the synagogue. In fact, the rabbi said that he had gone and gotten a concealed carry permit, but he wasn't carrying a gun when the shooting happened. He told me last night, he goes, after what happened, I would like to carry a weapon, but then Anthony held his hand up and he said, but the finger I lost was my trigger finger.
David, thank you.